All right, so now you know about these priorities. You know that they're happening. You know that they're a reality behind the curtain. What do you do about it? Control what you can control and focus on what you have ownership of as you start to enter your senior year of high school. Number one, continue to appropriately challenge yourself academically. Highly selective colleges are interested in students who have challenged themselves within the curriculum and offerings in that student's own high school. Talk with your college counselor or advisor at your school on which courses may make sense for you to take when it comes to challenging yourself beyond the standard graduation requirements. At many selective colleges, taking all 5 solid academic courses, English, social studies, math, science, and a language course, is typically something that many selective colleges are going to be keeping an eye out for when they come to assessing a student's academic record. Every student's academic journey is different, and it's not to say that you have to have taken all of the most challenging courses in those 5 academic subjects that I mentioned, but taking as many of those as possible that are A, within your comfort zone, B, within your interest, and C, if they're available to you in your school, is something to keep in mind. Number 2, helping your school advocate for you. So one part of your application process are letters of recommendation that will be sent in from teachers and your college counselor at your high school. Communicating with these individuals who are working to advocate for you and help you put your best foot forward to these colleges, you're going to want to let them know what you'd like them to be able to share about you to colleges. You know, what are some areas of growth that you have achieved within your school, your larger community, or maybe even the world? I recommend asking that you ask teachers from core solid academic courses. Most selective colleges are interested in seeing this, but I also would say, at the end of the day, don't worry, don't sweat so much if those teachers are from the same subject or different areas. Admissions officers are reading applications so quickly. What they're going to remember is what those individuals said about you, not necessarily the subject area. This is not an area for you to show just how good you are at insert academic subject. Admissions officers are going to be able to see that from your transcript and your academic record. Have the words and the anecdotes these teachers and counselors share about you be the thing that leaves the admissions officer blown away by all that you've achieved. Number 3, being aware of the uncommon and common building materials that are part of who you are. So I was an architecture major in college, and I oftentimes liken admissions officers to architects that are building a village for their particular institution. And the applicants in this village are what we call the building materials, right? So every student is going to be a mixture of some uncommon and common building materials. Common building materials are going to be things that are commonly seen in the application pool at these schools. So strong grades and test scores, leadership within the high school, involvement in sports, music, drama, traditional high school activities, students who are doers and love to cross things off a list and get things done. These are oftentimes qualities and values that are really commonly seen among many high achieving students. It doesn't mean that they're not valued by these colleges, it just means that most students possess some degree of these as part of the fabric of who they are. I would recommend doing some reflection and thinking about maybe some of the more uncommon building materials that you have to bring to the table. Some examples of these are self-directed, risk-taking learners, students who really dive into a particular academic subject and are exploring it in ways that are completely self-directed. One example that I often cite is a student whose file I read years ago who lived in Koreatown in Los Angeles, who's super into history. He went around and he interviewed all these different individuals who work all around his neighborhood and asked them more about their own family history. He compiled these findings and put them on his own website that was included as part of his application. Some other examples that represent this self-directed risk-taking learner quality that I'm describing: a student who did a podcast all about how much he loves ants, bringing portable solar panels to individuals experiencing homelessness, creating a digital art Instagram all about body positivity and self-love, being the president and founder of your school's bird watching club, advocating for project-based learning across all Vermont public schools, ROM hacking, which is editing video games to change the gameplay from the standard operation. Now you may be thinking, Tom, these sound like expensive activities. In fact, half of the activities that I described were initiatives that were taken on by low-income students. In the age of the internet, you can lean into your curiosities and interests in a way that's so much more specific and deep than any other prior generation. Another uncommon building material are going to be students who have particular extracurricular areas of impact far beyond the walls of their high school. So advocacy and initiatives that are beyond the city, county, sometimes even state level are things that many students who are applying to highly selective colleges have as part of their narrative. Now, that's not to say that every student who applies to these schools has to do these things to be admitted. These are just some examples of the types of areas of impact that do stand out on these application pools, regardless of students who meet institutional priorities or not. Number 4, identifying a cause. Now, I want to be clear, this is a lot of pressure to ask a 17 or 18-year-old who is still trying to find themselves and wondering what outfit they're going to wear the next day and whether or not Joey's going to ask you to the prom. He will. And if he doesn't, lean into a solo dance moment. Come on, Joey. You don't know what you're missing. In my experience, the students who have communicated that there's a particular fire that drives the decisions that they're making or drives the way that they spend their time often stand out in these highly selective pools. Many students will say things like, I'm interested in being a doctor because I like to help people. That's a common cause and motivation. Is there a particular population in medicine that you really want to solve? Are there issues that you're seeing around your community related to medicine, whether that's addiction issues, environmental factors that are part of your community? Being able to zero in on a cause that shows that you are observant about the world around you, you notice things that you don't like how they're going, and you want to be a part of that change, that communicates so much to a college in terms of your values, what you're hoping to achieve in college, and how you want to achieve it, and that you have precedent from your high school experience that supports that. Number 5, your actual application. So whether or not you're applying using the Common Application, Coalition Application, QuestBridge Application, your writing and your story that you're communicating to colleges is something that you have ownership of. Being able to share your story through your personal essay and supplemental essays that are specifically designed by colleges to get a sense for what a student values, what they care about, and whether or not those values and interests are in alignment with the college's culture, mission, and priorities. These are all opportunities that are in place for you to be able to stand out as much as possible in a pool where, as we've clarified, many things are outside of your control. Thankfully, College Essay Guy has so many resources to be able to help you embark on this quest. One of which is actually a course all about applying to highly selective colleges. With yours truly, we want this information to be available and out there to students to help them put together the best applications they can. We also have tons of blogs, podcasts, resources, PDF guides, a Discord server, catch me on the Discord, that are all available to you at collegeessayguy.com. So we hope this video was helpful. If it was, subscribe and smash that like button. In the link below this video, there's a free guide to writing your personal statement. Parents and counselors, there's stuff for you too. Wishing you the best of luck. We're here for you. And as always, stay curious.